All right, well, we are here today with an announcement that a lot of Detroiters have been waiting for. We did it sooner than we had planned to because of what is happening. And I need to talk to you about what's happening in the state of Michigan, which, if you've been following this, is probably growing as rapidly as anybody in the country in COVID infection rates. In the city of Detroit, we've doubled just in the last 10 days to a 10% infection rate. That's a rate we haven't seen really since last year. And more disturbingly, our hospitalizations have doubled in the last 10 days. And what is so different this time is if you look at the hospitalizations, we had comparable hospitalizations last November. They were predominantly 60 and up. What we are seeing today is hospitalizations of people in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. We haven't seen this before, but what's driving the hospitalization trends are younger Detroiters. And the fact they're hospitalized tells you that this infection, particularly I believe the British variant of it, is hitting a lot harder than we were hit before. And so we're going to have to do some things to deal with it. And so for everybody who's been waiting, we are now opened up. Any Detroiter, 16 or older, can call right now and get an appointment to get their COVID vaccine. You live in the city of Detroit, you're 16 or older, call 313-230-0505. We're opening it up to everybody. It is now the younger people that are being infected, the younger people that are being hospitalized, and we have got to start to get them vaccinated. What this has shown us is that people in their 60s and 70s and 80s, where we had a very high vaccination rate, they're doing better. The vaccine's working. There's no question about it. We are going to be at the point very soon where the only people who are sick are the people who didn't bother to get the vaccine. So as of today, this is simple. All those categories we've been talking about since January, we're down to 2. If you live in the city of Detroit and you're 16 or older, you can call and get an appointment. If you work on site in the city of Detroit, you can call and get an appointment. So we're going to have our workplaces and our residents where every single person can make a phone call and get their vaccine scheduled. So one twist that you ought to be aware of is that when they did the trials on Moderna, on Pfizer, and on Johnson & Johnson, Moderna and Johnson & Johnson only did their trials from 18 years and older. So there's no suggestion there's anything wrong with them, but they never tested 16 and 17-year-olds, and as a result, the federal government has not approved Moderna or Johnson & Johnson to be used on the 16 and 17-year-olds. So if you call and you're 16 or 17, we have to schedule you for Pfizer. They're the ones that are approved. That's not a problem right now because the great majority of our supply is Pfizer. So if you call this week and you're 16 or 17 years old, there's going to be no problem getting an appointment for a Pfizer vaccine. We are going to be dealing with bigger and bigger crowds at the TCF drive-through center. And we again ask, please try to put multiple people per car. We can get in about 4,400 cars a day. If there's 6,000 people in those 4,400 cars, we can handle 6,000 people. If there's 4,400 people in those cars, we only handle 4,400. So please, find a friend, find a family member, 2 or 3 people, come in a car together. You make one phone call, give them the information for everybody on the single call. We'll book you all at once. You all come in together, and you all come back 3 weeks later for your second shot together. You never have to leave the car. For opening day, this situation has changed a lot in the last 2 weeks. And we are asking you, if you don't have a ticket to the game, please do not come into the city. So Comerica Park has got an excellent plan. They've got 8,000 people spaced out over 42,000 seats. The people in the ballpark will be socially distanced and will be safe. What we don't have the room for is for a lot of other people to be coming down and tailgating outside. And so the capacity limits on bars and restaurants will be strictly enforced by the Detroit Health Department. Denise Fair and her team have already been meeting with them, and we're very clear. If you think it's going to be one of those opening days where everybody fills up the bars and restaurants and nobody enforces it, you're wrong. We will shut down the bars and restaurants. We will fine them, and potentially they'll have their licenses suspended. So the bars and restaurants are going to have to adhere strictly to the 50% capacity. And tailgating crowds that don't follow the mask and social distancing rules also will not be permitted. The Detroit police have no desire to be enforcing laws on tailgates, but if they have to, they will. But I would just say for this year, if you don't have a ticket to the game, please don't come to the city. If you do have a ticket to the game, don't come down early because it's just not, you're not going to have the kind of experience that you remembered. Next year, I'm very hopeful we'll be back to a traditional opening day, which is a holiday in this town. But this year, given the fact that COVID is rising, we're going to be enforcing the rules. Saturday, I'm pleased to say, Johnson & Johnson vaccines will be starting at the Northwest Activity Center. So we got our first supply of them this week. It's a relatively small supply, but we're told by the federal government it is going to grow rapidly. And so if you want the one-shot vaccine, you don't have to come back on this one. It'll be available 9 to 1 this Saturday at the Johnson & Johnson site. You call the same phone number, 313-230-0505. You can call up and say, I want to go down to TCF and get my 2 shots. You can say, I want to go to Johnson & Johnson at Northwest Activity Center and get my 1 shot. Or you can say, I want to go to one of the churches on Saturday. The beauty of what's happening in the city of Detroit is you don't need to navigate all these websites and all these wait lists. Just dial this number, tell the operator who answers the phone what you want your option to be, and they will begin booking you in if you want the Johnson & Johnson 1 shot starting this Saturday. And so if you aren't familiar with it, it's located up at 18100 Myers on the northwest side. And so 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. this Saturday. Remember, you have to be 18 years and old or older for Johnson & Johnson. It was never tested on 16 to 17-year-olds. So if you're a 16 or 17-year-old, you need to be downtown for the Pfizer. Anybody 18 and up can get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine there. We are being told by the White House that Johnson & Johnson vaccines are going to be available nationally in much bigger numbers in the next few weeks. As they are, we'll have longer hours on Saturday, and ultimately, I see the Northwest Activity Center being open several days a week so that you will have the choice of getting the 1 shot out in Northwest Detroit or the 2 shots down at TCF. And so that is where we are. We're going to start to enter the home stretch here where we try to get every Detroiter vaccinated. I will keep saying this. This city could be reopened this summer. We could be life very similar to the way that we remember it before the summer's over if we get vaccinated. We're also going to be in a situation that by late May or June, the only people who are going into the hospital for COVID are people who had a chance to get the vaccine and didn't bother to do it. Detroit's been the national leader for the last 9 or 10 months in fighting back. We have got to finish the job on the vaccines. And with that, I'm going to turn over to our health director, Denise Fair, who will talk about the other locations that you can go to this weekend as we reach out to every corner of the city. Denise?
Thank you, Mayor. But first, let me just reiterate that we are seeing an upward trend in COVID cases, positivity, and also hospitalizations, and I'm very concerned about that. It's really important to share that over the last 2 weeks, our cases have nearly doubled. In fact, we have had 896 new cases in the last 2 weeks. The majority of new cases continue to be those who are 20 to 29, which is about 22%, and 30 to 39-year-olds, right around 18%. And I know you all have heard the same message over and over again about the importance of safety protocols and getting vaccinated, but please don't tune us out. Hear us when we say don't wait and get vaccinated. You can call us today, just one number for the city of Detroit, and you can get vaccinated today. And you can get vaccinated right in your neighborhood. at a community site. So this Saturday, a community Saturday site from 9 to 1. You can go to 2 locations, Great Faith Ministries and also Galilee Baptist Church. Great Faith is located on Oakman, and Galilee is over at East Outer Drive. And also, as the mayor indicated, we have a third site this week for Johnson & Johnson at the Northwest Activities Center. Now, I must say that the community Saturdays are open to any Detroiter age 18 and older, and anyone age 18 and older who has a job that requires them to work on site in Detroit. So right now we are administering Moderna at both Great Faith and Galilee, which is why it is 18 and older. But as we get more Pfizer, we will offer it to those who are age 16 and older. Once again, if you want an appointment, give us a call now, 313-230-0505, because the sooner everyone gets vaccinated, the safer we will all be, because we know life is better with the vaccine. And so with that, I'll turn it over to the mayor.
We'll take any questions.
Okay, Mayor, just one question we have is, what is the size of the Johnson & Johnson allocation this week?
I think they've got 3,300 this week, and the allocations are supposed to get much larger to the state of Michigan and really, I think, to the country in the coming weeks.
Okay. All right, that's all we have today.
All right, thank you very much.